first time my husband called me replaceable, he smiled while he said it. Like it was a joke. Like I was supposed to laugh. We were sitting at the kitchen table, 2 months after our wedding, arguing about something stupid. Whose turn it was to grocery shop, or why he left his wet towel on the bed again. Normal married people stuff. He leaned back in his chair, crossed his arms, and said, "You know there are a lot of women who'd be grateful to be in your position." I laughed. Because obviously that's ridiculous, right? Right? He tilted his head. "I'm just saying. You're lucky I chose you." And just like that, something small and ugly planted itself in my chest. I didn't realize that seed would grow teeth. Hi, I'm Alina. I'm 30. I was married for 3 years to a man who genuinely believed he was doing me a favor by loving me. His name is Marcus. Marcus is tall, charismatic, the kind of man who commands a room without trying. Women flirted with him constantly. He acted annoyed by it, but he never shut it down too quickly either. When we were dating, I thought I'd won the lottery. He'd say things like, "You're not usually my type, but there's something about you." At the time, I thought that meant I was special. Now I know it meant I was insecure enough to try harder. Before Marcus, I'd had one serious relationship. It ended badly. I spent 2 years rebuilding my confidence. Then Marcus came in like a spotlight. He complimented me constantly at first. Told me I was different, smarter, more grounded than other women. He also casually mentioned how crazy his exes were. Red flag number 1. But when someone is choosing you, it's easy to ignore the trail of women they left behind. He proposed after a year. My friend said it was fast. I said, "When you know, you know." I hate that sentence now. The shift happened slowly. After the wedding, the compliments turned into comparisons. "I like when you wear your hair straight. It looks more polished. You'd look insane if you lost just 10 pounds. Most wives let themselves go. Don't be one of those." It was always wrapped in a joke. If I bristled, he'd say, "Relax, I'm motivating you." Motivating. He started pointing out women in public. Not in a drooling way. In an analytical way. See how she carries herself? Confident. That's attractive. I'd nod like I was taking notes. I didn't realize I was. Marcus worked in tech sales. Money was good. His coworkers were young and flashy. He'd come home with stories about office parties. "Jessica wore this insane dress," he'd say casually. Confidence like that is rare. I'd pretend it didn't bother me. Because I wasn't jealous, I was cool. Low maintenance. Grateful. That word again. The first time he said replaceable without smiling, it was year 2. We were arguing about him coming home at 2 a.m. without texting. "I don't owe you a play-by-play, he said. "I'm your wife," I replied. He shrugged. "And?" I blinked. "And that means respect." He laughed. "Alina, let's be real. You're not exactly in high demand, I am." It felt like someone dumped ice water down my spine. What does that mean? It means I have options. I choose you. Don't push it. Choose you. Like it was temporary, like I was on probation. I should have left. Instead, I tried harder. Cooked more. Dressed up more. Smiled more. Because if you feel replaceable, you start auditioning. I stopped bringing up issues. Stopped questioning late nights. Stopped asking who Jessica was. He noticed. "You've been better lately," he said once approvingly. Better. Like I was a dog that learned a trick. Here's where it gets worse. Marcus didn't cheat. Not technically. He flirted. Constantly. Right in front of me sometimes. He'd introduce me as the wife, and then spend the night talking to other women. If I looked uncomfortable, he'd squeeze my knee under the table and whisper, "Don't embarrass me." Embarrass him for having feelings. One night at a company event, I overheard him laughing with 2 coworkers. "She knows what's up," he said. "She's not going anywhere." They laughed. "Why not?" one of them asked. He shrugged. "Where would she go?" I stood frozen behind a pillar, holding a glass of champagne I suddenly couldn't swallow. Where would she go? I went home early that night. He didn't notice until 1 a.m. The breaking point came in year 3. Marcus got a promotion. Bigger salary, bigger ego. We went to celebrate at a rooftop bar. He was in his element. Charming, magnetic. A woman approached him while I was in the bathroom. When I came back, she was laughing, touching his arm. He didn't introduce me. I stood there awkwardly until she finally asked, "And you are?" "His wife," I said. Marcus smiled lazily. "For now." "For now." She laughed like it was funny. I didn't. On the drive home, I was shaking. "What was that?" I asked. "What? For now?" He sighed dramatically. "God, you're sensitive. You humiliated me." I was joking. "You keep joking about replacing me." He slammed his hand on the steering wheel. "Because it's true." Silence filled the car. "You think I can't?" He continued. "You think I couldn't have someone lined up tomorrow?" My chest felt hollow. "Do you want someone else?" I asked quietly. He didn't answer immediately. That pause. "I want you to appreciate what you have," he said. Appreciate. Like I was living on borrowed time. I didn't sleep that night. I lay there replaying every comment. Every comparison. Every joke. Replaceable. Lucky. Options. I realized something devastating. He didn't love me. He loved that I felt lucky to have him. There's a difference. The next morning, I did something I hadn't done in 3 years. I looked at myself without his voice in my head. No comparisons, no motivations. Just me. And I didn't look replaceable. I looked tired, small, diminished. Because I'd been shrinking to fit his ego. I started scrolling through old photos. Before him. I looked brighter, louder, confident. Where would she go? Anywhere. I met with a lawyer that week. Didn't tell him. Just gathered information. For the first time, I felt something other than fear. I felt clarity. Marcus came home late that night. Smelled like expensive cologne and validation. He tossed his keys on the counter. You good? He asked. Yes, I said. And for once I meant it. When I told him I wanted a divorce, he laughed. You're not serious. I am. He studied my face. You wouldn't survive without me. There it is. The belief underneath everything. I was surviving before you, I said. He scoffed. You'll regret this? Maybe, I replied. But I'd rather be alone than auditioning for my own marriage. His confidence cracked for the first time. You think you'll find better? He asked. I smiled. I think I already did. He looked confused. Who? Myself. The divorce wasn't dramatic. No screaming. No cheating reveal. Just paperwork and quiet disbelief. He tried to backtrack. I didn't mean it like that. You always say that. I was joking. You always are. But jokes lose their humor when they're knives. It's been 8 months. Marcus is already dating someone new. Younger. Flashier. Exactly his type. He posted her on Instagram last week. Caption? Upgrade. I stared at it for a long time. Then I laughed. Because here's the truth. A man who constantly reminds you that you're replaceable is terrified. You'll realize he is too. He needed me to feel lucky. To feel chosen. To feel small. Because if I ever felt equal, I'd leave. And I did. So if you're reading this and someone keeps joking about how easily they could replace you, believe them. Not because you're replaceable, but because they are. And the moment you stop auditioning, you stop being afraid, and that terrifies them more than anything.